It is 6 p.m. We'll call the meeting to order and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So we'll do our roll call. We do have two members absent at the moment, Jason and Gail. So hopefully they'll show up at any moment. Approval of or additions to the agenda. I think we have everything there. Consent agenda. We have a couple different meeting minutes, work session minutes in there.
I have
Yeah, I've got some questions on this, on the consent agenda, so please go ahead.
Yeah, the first one that I would say is that on the, I think it's page 14, when we were here for the October 1st meeting, the minutes show that the motion was that Matt Smith and Don Loving be appointed to the superintendent search committee. I believe that Jim was also supposed to be there, so if we could amend that to include Jim, then I'm fine with the minutes.
You probably caught that one too.
I saw it.
Yeah.
There's no love there, you know.
Okay. And you got that in the notes?
Yep.
Okay. Any other?
Yeah, I've got, on finances, you know, with the superintendent, not here now, and with Casey super busy with the golf course and his many jobs, I'm taking a really hard look and keeping a really good track on our finances and making sure that, you know, the staff understands to keep within budget parameters. And overall, they're doing pretty good, but there's some that we need to look at, specifically in 450. I know last year that we had to do a special session for that and had to reevaluate that budget. I really don't want to do that again, so Casey, you might want to take a look at 450.
Yeah.
And when you have something that's already, you know, been overspent by 46%, I mean, not the entire budget, but just one line item.
Depends on what it is.
We need to look at that and make sure, because at the end of the day, we need to stay within that budget, as you know. So those are the things, I'm gonna keep watching that. There's other departments too that are close already, and we're only 4 months into this budget year, so we really need to keep a close eye on that fiscally, so. And I would assume the staff is hearing this, so they need to kind of put a hurt on everybody out there. So, thank you, that's all I got.
That's all you got? Anything else? Consent agenda? Okay. Make a motion to approve the consent agenda
With the changes.
with the changes as noted.
I'll second that.
The motion is made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay. Okay, public participation. Now we have just one on the sign-in sheet. Anyone else want to last second? Okay. Brandon Slider, if you want to stand up there and make sure the button's orange so we can hear you.
Thank you very much. Yes, my name is Brandon. I live near Friends Park, and I wanted to bring up some community concerns about some of the developments going on. The gist of it is the neighbors have been a little confused and frustrated about the development happening in Friends Park behind, and I want to spend some time today to share our concerns, not just for myself, but also for my neighbors and friends. We're troubled by the destruction of some of the trees. There was a fire that was lit earlier this year, and most of all, the lack of information and transparency coming from the developer and the owner. This is regarding a recent filing also with Yamhill County Docket L21-24, which has heightened the concerns of some of what we're worried about. The proposal has to do with the return of some of the creek land back to the city, which we are happy to hear about, but it involves surrendering some of the parkland to the owner of this particular tax lot. This specific section of land includes the western side of the park and possibly the trees. There hasn't been a whole lot of understanding on where that line goes exactly. But some of the concerns that neighbors have brought up involve increased traffic posing a risk to children and families that use the park, destruction to wildlife and plant life, the loss of trees along those western side of the park, which is really crucial during the summertime. You pretty much can't play at the park in the summer unless it's the evening because those trees provide shade. And then there's also lots of rumors that we just don't know the facts, and we want to clear some of that up, whether there's been talks about paving a road from Kennedy Drive to Winooski, which has caused a lot of alarm. In addition to the concerns that I already stated, there's some concerns that the developer may have already overstepped some of the boundaries with where they've mowed down trees. And so I think a lot of us would really like a survey to set out some very clear lines so we can understand a little better. Additionally, during the last year, there have been lots of trucks that have come through, causing some destruction to neighbors' plants and to the easement and leaving rocks all over the neighborhood that I actually personally swept off the road, and some reckless driving to that area that have endangered children that play in that corner by the park. The core of the issue that's feared by many is that we're being overlooked by the community. The developer has allegedly been quoted as saying things like, "It's my land, it's none of your business, I can do whatever I want with it." And from a legal standpoint, I understand that thought process, but I'm hoping that we can kind of work together as a community to have more transparency. We don't want to be taken advantage of. We don't want our children and our friends and our pets and everybody who comes to visit the park to be put at risk by improper development, or if there's a road, like how do we have safety involved in that with the park? So ultimately we're hoping that the city and Parks and Rec can help us have a seat at the table. I've already personally applied, or I've applied for an appeal with the county over this tax lot change to try and get the developer to come to the table, and we're in communication right now, and hopefully we can clear some of that stuff up. But it would be really helpful if the city could kind of be more aware of this and help us kind of work through this issue and make sure everything's done above board and let our concerns be noted. Thank you for your time. If there's anything else you want me to talk about, please let me know.
Casey, this is the lot line adjustment that
Yep.
we were working on, and I know we specifically discussed the trees as a barrier in the park, and Brian had quite a bit to say about that. Are you up to speed on exactly what these issues are?
Nothing's changed as far as I am aware.
Mhm.
Last time I heard from the city was that they buried the city's storm and sewer line.
Casey, Mike.
They buried the city's storm and sewer line under 10 feet of fill, and that was the last I talked to Clay, and so I haven't really responded to their request for an easement through there. And they don't want an easement, they want property, they want a road. They're trying to get city utilities to a county lot, is what they're trying to do.
So the property is in the county,
Property's in the county.
and the city has an easement for the sewer line going down the middle of the canyon, is that correct?
He has an easement to get into his property through.
No, I'm talking about the city has an easement on
Correct.
their line going to the water treatment plant.
Correct.
And they covered that with 10 feet of fill?
Yep. And he has an easement to access his property through the development, the housing development at Friends Park, off of Kennedy. I believe it's end of Kennedy.
Correct.
So, I mean, ultimately, that's up to the city to do something about most of that. I can't control what the city does. I have had discussions with Clay about that, and I haven't heard his ultimate, what they're planning.
Is the easement, is it on our land, or is the easement, is that a
They
city
want,
easement?
they want our land for an easement to access the driveways to the proposed
When you say they,
Lots.
are you referring to the city or the developer?
developer.
The developer.
Was that part of the agreement?
That was brought up to you guys in, I believe.
Right, but we haven't signed anything.
No, we have not signed
And
anything.
so at that
Back
point,
when-
we were discussing it. Don felt that we should move forward on it. Don's not here anymore. And so I think we probably need to revisit that.
You do, and I will get you a map and the drawings, and you can,
Yeah, I was looking at it today. How many acres are we trading?
Don wanted to keep it to 5,000 square feet. And so, one of the things he requested was they have an access, 20-foot wide access, and maybe we could make it 15, and it wouldn't eliminate all the trees along the side of the park. And that, we're trading 5,000 feet for like 3 acres, which you can run the pathways from the park down into that corridor, stream corridor. But it would be, I would guess, seasonal use, not permanent use. And I know the city has storm inspection caverns down there,
So,
or culverts.
beyond what has already occurred with the utilities being buried, what role does the city have in this going forward?
I'm not exactly sure,
Okay,
and I will find some of that out.
okay. Yeah, so let's do some fact finding, and I think this is something that we'll need on a future agenda. I don't
Okay.
know if it'll be December, if we'll have enough information, but.
Should have.
We've not made any final decisions on this, just so you know.
Of course.
So it's good that you brought this to us, and
Right.
we can develop a little more information.
And I was gonna say, I think it would be good for you to identify for the neighbors what the lines are exactly out there, so they know. So then the facts are on the ground, basically. If we could do that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we can, but I think that would be good.
Is the 5,000 square feet, is that in the city or is that also county?
It would be in the city,
Okay, so that'll be in the city, and then the rest of the land in the
because everything
gulches
outside of Friends Park is in the county,
is in the county, okay,
on the west property.
on the west side, okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So stay in touch, and then if you want to give your information to staff, I don't know if you or Brian are a good follow-up, and then we can.
Yeah, I kind of showed Brian where the things are down there, and he was kind of concerned about the path. I think he brought it
Right.
up last
Yeah,
meeting.
he brought up specifically the trees, the
The
barrier,
fence
and
and
some
the
other
barrier
stuff. So
and-
we
yeah.
we need to make sure that before we do anything, we've addressed all that.
Well, it
And over
should,
the last 4 years, that's morphed several times with
yeah,
another developer and wanting to get in there, so it's morphed a couple times.
Well, it's
So-
been sold from Pat Darby to this developer, and he combined it with some other property that he purchased.
so, but he's not gonna, like, he can't take any trees down or do anything else until something.
He can't touch our property.
Okay,
But we're not,
you're not sure he hasn't already?
we don't, since we don't know where the property line is, and
Yeah.
I've had many discussions with Mr. Bernard about where the property line is. And he said, I'm not really sure, but I will get it surveyed.
Well, he should have had it surveyed to start with. And I'm sure he
Exactly.
did, because that's what the mount
He
comes
doesn't
from.
want to let anybody really know what it is, and it would be helpful if we knew, because then we could visualize it.
Right.
And one of our neighbors who lives right on the easement is here. If she's able to have a brief moment, is that all right?
Yep.
I'm sorry, where does she live?
She lives right on the
Corner.
easement, the corner where the Kennedy Drive is.
I was going to say, part of what you were asking, the easement that it is my property. His easement goes through my property.
I'm sorry, can you give your name?
It's Julie Terry. And they are using that to bring in a lot of filler on a very routine basis. I will also say, since I live bordering that property and it's very loud, they're using the park for their trucks to back into the gravel lot, the park parking lot, backing it in where they can't get down, and they're bringing in their supplies that way as well. So there's some concerns that it's not really safe for the kids playing in the park when they're using it with their big trucks to do, I'm not sure what.
As a suggestion, I'm sure Casey's gonna go down and take a look
We
at
can
this.
close the gate.
As a suggestion though, if they're adding fill to a space over there, that has to be permitted.
Yeah.
That's county.
Yeah.
County's already said that's okay.
Oh, they did?
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys been to the county?
I filed an appeal with the county, so they at least know about this
Okay.
thing so that we can try and be all on the same page and clear up any, miscommunication.
When that park went in, part of those trees and those extras, it's for somewhat sound barrier as well, because with the bypass, all that, it gets really loud.
Yeah.
And so that kind of gives us some protection, since that was all very dense vegetation. When we all moved in, it definitely blocked a lot of sound. But those trees, all of those things now are protection. Losing some of that where they're having it not clear and clearly mapped out and identified, there is a walking path that is very close to what the maps they sent our neighborhood. It's very close to what that walking path is. And so there's some concerns, like, are we losing, where we walk our kids and our kids ride bikes and the animals get taken out for walks, and, we don't want kids necessarily riding through the streets.
Right.
So that's a good safe area for them. And like I said, with them using the trucks and all of it, it does kind of bring up those concerns about, how safe that is. They're not doing it every single day, but they are doing it fairly regularly.
Okay. All right, thank you. We'll definitely be looking into that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing that to us. Okay. Okay. Action items, discussion on superintendent search. So, oh, come on, I was gonna give it to you. So, Jim and I are on the committee. We did have a meeting with, Bob Kiefer, and we went over, some of the details of the search. I think that's in this memorandum here. Highlights, I guess we've finalized at least a draft version of the job description. I think a very detailed, good job description. Starting salary, we kind of developed what we feel is reasonable for that. And then an amended schedule here. I think a couple of the dates obviously have changed, but we're still looking for, I guess the end date is somewhere in February, to bring someone on board. That's the very 10,000 foot view, and I'm
Yeah,
sure you
so,
have some more.
for those who don't know, Bob Kiefer works for SDAO, as Special Districts of Oregon. They do searches all the time for, superintendents of not just park districts, but they cover water districts and sewer districts and all kinds of districts. So they have the professionalism to go out and recruit, and we plan on recruiting nationally for this position. We want to get the most qualified person that we can into that position. So we're hoping that we get a lot of response. And the public will be involved with this from the point of, we will have a meet and greet later. And we'll put it on our website, and we'll probably talk about it in other board meetings. And so you'll know when that is. So we may be looking at up to, hopefully no more than 5 applicants at the end to interview, and with the entire board, Matt and I and possibly some other folks are going to go through some of the applications to whittle it down to 5. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. And so we're hoping, it's not 100% it's going to happen, but we're hoping by the 1st of February that we have a new superintendent at that time. But again, that can move a little bit depending on who we're looking at, when they can get here and so on. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell.
Is there something that we're supposed to be approving?
Yeah, I think
on
we should
this?
approve the job description as written.
So I was just wondering, because I thought that at that October 1st meeting, that we basically gave you guys the authority to do that in that, or is it?
You did, but I
so-
still think it'd be good to.
Okay, I
Yeah,
appreciate
I
that. I
think-
just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I think the idea was we were putting everything together with SDAO, but we want to bring everything back to the meeting and make sure everyone,
And we
well,
put
everyone
our,
who's here, you know.
yeah, we put
reviews
our
it
time
first.
into, we put some time into it, and we added some stuff from the district angle too. He met with the staff and he looked at that, and he added some things that the staff had to say also.
Okay.
So it was pretty thorough. So I'd like to move to accept the job description for Chehalis Park and Recreation District as written.
I'll second that.
Okay. Do we want to add anything more to that motion, like accepting the timeline or anything like that,
I
or
don't
is that all
think we need
just?
to do that.
I think that's all just.
No, it's just the
And
job
the
description.
job description and the salary,
Yeah,
I think
that's
are
all.
the two
Okay.
things. So maybe amended just to include the salary, starting salary
Okay.
too.
Okay, so a motion has been made and amended to include the job description and the starting salary that's been set by the subcommittee. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion so stated? Aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay. So Parks Planner,
No, I'll take
yeah,
the road best travel on
yes,
this
you
one.
take this one.
So, you know, a job description was put together to hire a park planner, project manager. And we have some projects that are waffling out there because of not having enough staff to get them done. And part of that problem was that we have grants that are due. And so we want to make sure that we secure those grants, that grant funding, and don't lose that grant funding. So with that said, on October 1st, when talking to SDAO, they suggested that we look to hire someone on contract instead of full-time right now, because that will give the new superintendent the ability to hire his person or her person, depending on who the superintendent is. So at that meeting, we decided to not open it yet, open that yet for full-time job, but to contract it out. So there were some names that were given to us that have experience not only in project management, but also being able to meet the deadlines and the paperwork and the understanding of grants that we've applied for. And the grants we've applied for is through Oregon State Parks and also the Department of Transportation. And those grants have deadlines coming up very quick, so it's an emergency to get this moving. And also be able to get the projects moving, which happens to be the two main ones. Really, there's three, but the two main ones that have grants are the Sanders property in Dundee, that park moving, and also the bridge that for the walkway by the bypass goes across that canyon for pedestrians. So those are the two main ones, and then pickleball courts are probably going to be in there too. So so we went out and looked for a project manager position to begin moving those projects forward. We went with an individual named Gary Barth. Gary Barth was the administrator for Clackamas County, and Clackamas County operated the North Clackamas Park District, which was kind of a weird deal. But anyway, so he was in charge of that, did a lot of work with grants and projects, came highly recommended. And because this is an emergency situation, we need to get somebody on now. I'd like to go ahead and approve the contract that was sent to us by his company, his consulting company.
Gary Barth Consultants.
Yeah, Gary Barth Consulting, and move this forward. So I'd like to make a motion to approve that contract.
Second,
That's in your packet.
Motion's made and seconded, and I was also at the meeting. I think he has the experience and he can get right on it. So, which is exactly what we need, so.
Well, I talked with him today, and we're gonna probably talk or meet Monday
Okay.
afternoon,
Good.
so.
So you'll be his
If you
point of
guys
contact
approve
then?
this, we're gonna get together Monday.
Okay.
Okay, and you'll be his point of contact then?
Yep.
Perfect.
And I'll keep you guys informed on everything that we talk about.
Cool.
It would be good if we could have a report from him on our December 5th meeting, a month in.
Alright.
That'd be great.
Yep.
Okay, so there's a motion.
Motion's made and seconded. Any other question, anything else? Okay. All those in favor of the motion so stated? Say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Okay, this is something we're bringing back. It was the Crestview Crossing Spring Meadow Park situation. We had a contract, I think, at the last meeting. We had legal take a look at it. Casey, you were able to also take a look at it further. And then, do we have someone here
We have a
representing them?
notary.
What's that?
I believe Jesse is here. Yep.
Okay. So I don't know if you have anything else you want to share or discuss, because I know you laid it out mostly at the last meeting, but want to make sure you have ability.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add at this point in time. I just wanted to be here because I saw it was on the agenda. I wanted to know if you had any other questions. I hadn't heard from the legal team if they had any other questions or red lines or anything like that yet. So I just wanted to be here to answer any questions.
Yeah, I got a couple questions. Is the city going to be needed to approve that sidewalk improvement they're making with the ADA access and so on?
Already have.
They've approved it.
Yes.
And did you think about bringing that sidewalk, like I discussed, a little closer so we don't have that tree well? Remember I talked about bringing it along the side of that?
Yeah, we can snug that up a little tighter if that's what you'd like. We're just trying to be kind of efficient with the walkway, but I mean, there's some areas where it kind of has to be separated, but
Casey, you're good with it? Okay.
Yep. This has been kind of a long time.
yeah.
Been started, what, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This,
I think we've already approved it. I don't think there's any action needed.
Yeah, because I thought we approved it last meeting.
I think, yeah, we
We'll just
wanted
go ahead
we
and
wanted
sign it.
legal to review first and make
Okay.
sure that.
And that's
There's
what this
nothing.
language is, just basically
Yeah,
in perpetuity, you guys take care of it, right?
Yep.
The
structural
roadway
integrity.
part is
Yeah.
structural,
Okay.
if we don't damage it.
So you don't need anything more from us, in case you feel
I don't
like
think so.
confident going
I think
forward.
we're
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
There
So
we
if you
go.
guys can just get a signature on it and a notary, and I can come by and pick it up and get my team to sign it and notarize it and get it recorded, and
Okay.
good to go.
Thanks, Justin.
Sounds great.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you. You too.
Yep. Thank you. Okay, we have board liaison appointments to the Heritage Trail Committee. We did not select board liaisons for the new committee, so we have two people gone. So we can
Appoint them
I'm just
as
kidding.
No, I think that'd be appropriate.
Yeah, that's
No,
what they get.
seriously.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like,
Jason might be a little busy.
I mean, Jason was previously, I think it was Jason and you, Jim, on the prior.
yeah, but you know,
Heritage Trail.
I served on it and worked with that committee, and now it's a whole new committee, so I think that other board members need the experience.
Okay. Okay, so, do you have any interest?
No.
No? Okay,
And, you know, we're just kind of sit there anyway and listen to you guys and listen to your thing, but you'd be good.
oh, man.
Should we appoint Gail then?
Well,
wanna
we also
pursue
have a pickleball appointment to make too, so I know she was previously on the pickleball committee, as a liaison. I don't know.
So you're gonna do the trails.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Because I will move on to that other project with pickleball and help them move forward. A lot of those folks talk to me all the time.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, yeah, I'll appoint, Jason to the, Trails Committee. Oh, you're killing me. And myself to the Trails Committee.
Trails are great, you love it, it'll be good.
Yeah. And, I'll appoint you to the pickleball. Do you have any interest in, pickleball?
Yeah, if you need a backup, I'm more than happy to help with that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll appoint, Lisa as well to the pickleball. Did you get all that?
Yes.
Okay. So moving to the next official agenda item, kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Pickleball Advisory Committee, we do only have 4 applications. We need a minimum of 5, but generally we're hoping to have 7 members on the committees if possible. You heard that there is
Yeah, there's
another.
another fellow, and
Yeah.
because of a family emergency, he could not be here, but he asked to be on it, so, and his application, he said he sent it in, so maybe with Kat, I don't know. So anyway, there's the 5th.
Yeah, so based on that, I think let's work with Kat when she gets back,
Okay.
and let's leave that open, at least for other applications that potentially might have come directly to her.
Was Mike Kringlin in there at all?
No,
I don't think he was,
No,
actually.
and I would be surprised if he's,
Yeah. Mike and,
Nick Conan,
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Linda
have,
Sandberg,
Yeah.
Lance Trantham, and then Cheryl Grant.
they've been, the folks, when I reviewed that, those folks have been with that in this last go-round,
right,
all positive, all great people.
yeah.
Since
You
they-
know,
I think Mike goes to Arizona, and so I'll reach out to him,
Yeah,
Okay,
see, because
so he may just be missing that this is an opportunity, okay?
yeah.
I'll reach out to Mike.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we'll leave it open for another 30 days.
Okay.
And then I would recommend just appointing the 4 that we have so far.
I think we did, didn't we, at the last meeting?
We did not
Okay.
we just reopened the pickleball
Okay,
applications.
okay.
So I'd just suggest let's appoint the 4 we have, leave it open, and then hopefully we do get 3 more.
Yeah, okay. I moved,
So-
did you just move that, or do you want me to?
That would be my recommendation, but
Okay.
I haven't made an official motion.
I'll move that the 4 people that submitted applications to be on the pickleball committee are appointed to the pickleball committee.
I second that motion. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of appointing the 4 applicants to the pickleball committee, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, okay. And then we will leave that open for another 30 days, and we'll just work with Kat, because she may have a couple applications
Yeah.
ready, so.
I've got some comments though on
Okay.
the committees.
Mhm.
Who's here that was on the trail committee? Anyone? Okay, who is our staff liaison for the trail committee?
Brian, I think.
So, with the committees, and because of all the state laws that are in public meetings now, you have to have these public meetings, and they have to be on Zoom and so on. So really, the committee needs to work with staff, not so much the board are there to listen basically, but work with staff to develop, guidelines of what they want to do. And so I'm just throwing that out. I just don't want the committees to be lost. Like, okay, we're here, give me an assignment. It's kind of like, the last committee did a pretty thorough, looking for the word, a pretty
Survey.
thorough,
Assessment.
assessment of our community and what they felt they'd like to see. It was pretty thorough, and so you could take a look at that and see where they left that, and then move from there, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that was pretty thorough. I don't know,
Just,
have you seen that?
just trying to help a little bit there.
Yeah,
Question,
Yeah.
would that be something that would be part of the first meeting when we get together to put that type of information?
We could compile a information booklet for them.
That'd be
from the
great.
previous committee
that'd
that
be
they
great.
can
Yeah, because that
have.
was a lot of work.
That would be.
It was a
good.
lot of work. Quentin and his group did a lot of work for the Riley not only the Riley property, but for all of Newburgh, so.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try to get them all the information that they can, so
Yep.
that they don't just start like from scratch.
Yeah, there's no point in reinventing the wheel.
No, no.
Because
Yeah.
there was a meeting, I guess, tentatively set up for Tuesday of next week.
Right, and I'm glad you brought that up, because we don't have a complete
Committee?
committee. I think, is that something, well, that's only for the pickleball. We do have you guys. You guys are Tuesday next week, right?
I think there's 7 people.
Yeah,
so far
yeah,
as
yours.
committee.
I'm jumping between because I'm looking at my agenda and I'm saying pickleball. Okay, so if we need to get them information before Tuesday, is
Yep.
that something you
I
have
could
readily
probably do.
available?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
and
it's.
and
just
there
need
is
to
an
print it
email.
out.
There's an email chain with all the
There should
trail
be.
committee members.
There should
Mm,
I saw something
I've-
out there.
I've
Kat
got-
was the one coordinating that.
Yeah.
So she has that information.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll want to get them an email.
I'll give them the final information if they want more information. That there wasn't really a lot of emails with, other than
Mm-hmm.
the items that they talked about,
Right.
the Riley property, all the
Yeah.
stuff that they did up there, and the parks.
Okay.
All the GPS and
Yeah.
that type information.
Yeah. Okay.
That was all in documents, so.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. We'll try to get you guys everything we can as soon as possible, since the meeting's coming up so quick. So, yeah. Okay. Board meeting schedule for November and December. Typically, we do not have a November meeting. And our December meeting is the 5th, right? Because of the holidays. Given our timeline for the superintendent search, I think we can stick to that meeting schedule and not skip a beat.
Right, because the whole month of November, they're just going to be taking applications in for
Yeah.
superintendents, so really there's nothing we're doing anyway.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. That was an easy one. Okay. Board comments. I will start over here. We'll just go this
I've
way.
been gone.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're doing great.
Actually, I did have pictures of some kind of cool ways that they were doing some of their park stuff in the Azores.
In Portugal.
But yeah, so I'm not sure how that would help, but it was cool.
Okay. I have nothing.
Yeah, I was, took my dog on a leash, at Ewing Young Park,
Yeah.
and was walking around it, and, I saw some really, and I didn't know they were there, some really, great interpretive signs on some of the flora and fauna that are out there. I don't know who did that, but, you know, tell Brian great, or whatever group did that. I'd like to know. I don't know if you've seen him, Casey.
Beat
but-
Brian.
Was it Brian that did it?
I
Or a
don't-
group? I think it was a group that, but anyway, I just want to tell them thank you for that. It's great for the public to be able to walk our trails and be able to
See
see.
what Poison Oak looks like?
I know what it looks like. I can show you.
And be able to understand some of the flora and fauna that are in that park, so I thought that was great. So anyway, that's what all I have to say.
Okay. So committee updates. Do you have anything for the golf clubhouse?
We're tentatively having a work session on November 11th.
Okay. November 11th.
Things we're working on, we just kind of, work session to get
Okay.
this stuff resolved.
And I'll probably be out of town most of November, so a good time.
We
Yeah.
were talking at the golf course advisory committee meeting about how
Microphone.
much money we had in that account, the golf clubhouse account, and I did check, and it is $154,000.
Okay, I think you said 155.
Yeah, yeah.
And that account, that's something that, for continuity's sake, it stays.
Dedicated towards it.
Yeah, it's
And
just
it
for
can
the clubhouse.
be tracked,
Yep.
because obviously bringing in a new superintendent, all that.
Yep, we have a
budget.
line item for that
Okay.
specifically, and so every month money is dumped into that account. It's called the golf course improvement account.
And it's in a
And so-
lockbox, right?
It is.
We can't go pillage that and buy a tractor.
Let
'cause
Tom
that's the
Sheridan know.
concern. Okay. Okay. So I know that's something that had come up. Okay. Project updates. Casey, you got anything exciting?
Not really.
No.
Just trying to get through, this kind of continuing
Mike?
on. Haven't really had a chance to talk with anyone. The city of Dundee is probably next on the list, and I'm just keeping these projects going, and that's the reason for the planner that you guys
And
elected
with Dundee, is that something where you're going to open a dialogue with you and then the planner as he comes on board and
Planner
their city administrator?
and the city administrator, and then ultimately the city council.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And then keep, I think, we're both on the city of Dundee liaison list,
Yeah.
so keep us on
I keep you in the loop.
notice, especially if we're going to a council meeting or anything like that.
Yeah, and since people are listening, we need to get that park built for the community over there. That is such a big deal. And so I'm excited for Gary to come on to basically move this forward. I understand there's gonna be some holdups with like PGE poles in the roads, stuff like that. But they're all things that other developers and so on, and I understand that there's gonna be some costs in infrastructure outside of the park development. We just need to know what they are and move forward, and you know that, but I just want the public to know that we are very adamant on moving this forward as fast as we can, so we can basically be shovel-ready this spring and get that park built, hopefully this summer.
We did get a 1200C permit, so
yay.
we're started. It's
Good.
just still continuing.
Good. It's gonna be great for that area and for, for our entire district. I just think it's so exciting, and as a land donation, it's awesome.
Anything else on your desk?
Too busy at the golf course.
Saturday, the rain comes, right? Things will finally slow down. Sunday, maybe?
5 inches of rain over the weekend.
Yeah, there you go.
It'll be the end of the trails, the golf course.
It'll all of a sudden not be busy
That
at
was
the
kind of
golf
like
course
the
anymore.
end of the trails, the end of the golf course. It's like, is that it?
Sounds
Go
ominous.
swimming at the pool.
I just wanted to mention that Casey and I next Wednesday, Jim, we were kind of talking about that yesterday, but are going to be meeting with the new interim superintendent at the school district to talk about the Rennie project and just to bring him up to speed, let him know. I presented him, or I emailed him the IGA, all the items that we've received from AKS, and just some meeting notes and kind of what the project looked like or is going to look like. And so we have a meeting next Wednesday with him. So
All right.
looking forward to that. So
Yeah.
if anybody if anyone on the board wants to go, I know Jim had we
Yeah,
talked
I
about it
wanted to, but
yesterday.
I'm gonna be out of town,
I
so
know.
that you should.
I might be
So you
able
wanna
to.
go? Okay, great.
Yeah, send me
What
the
time?
details.
I'll send you
of
it. It's next Wednesday at 11 a.m. at the district office.
Okay.
And the new superintendent, his name is Dave Parker. It sounds like he's going to be around until 2026, maybe. He came from Forest Grove. He's actually I think he was the superintendent here for a while.
He was
Yeah, I
an
know Dave,
assistant
and-
here,
yeah,
I
he was
believe. Yeah.
assistant, yeah.
Yeah, I know Dave, and he's
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a lot on his plate right now, but I'm sure he'll work with us.
Yeah, well, I was kind of excited that they'd reached out. That was, they wanted to talk to us about it. So I think that's great.
Anything else from either of you? You're the only staff we got, so if you have any updates, now's your time.
Can you think of anything? We're busy.
Busy, yeah.
And then the golf course, I know I heard you guys talking about it a little bit. You have someone potentially coming for
Yeah, in December.
in December.
Yeah.
Okay.
My problem is staff's
Microphone?
getting sick, and we're still missing Howard. He's still out with his injury.
Yeah.
Russ is available to do some of the projects. So yeah, we get a little bit behind. We get some help from the park staff occasionally, but there's a lot to do out there. Still technically growing season until the weekend, and then it stops. Just everything stops.
I did see out at Ewing Young, somebody's son, and the new fellow that's working on the excavator,
Yeah,
working on our heavy equipment,
yeah.
removing those pilings and stuff in the skate park and BMX. So he seemed to be pretty thorough and doing his thing out there. So it's good.
I've heard he's a good person, good worker. Our mechanic actually knows him. So
That's good.
he's had a lot of experience.
You're good on that machinery. You can get a lot of work done in a small amount of time. So
Yeah.
that's great.
Yep. So I haven't met him personally. Brian interviewed him and kind of hired him. He went through a hiring process to look through 3 or 4 candidates, and he had a couple big decisions to make, and I think he made the right one.
Okay, anything else before we wrap it up? No? Okay, we will adjourn. Thank you, everyone.